I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Unfazed with your boys JJ and AJ. We are excited about today's episode, man. We are knee deep into the second round of the NBA playoffs, and there is a lot to get to. But before we get to that, gotta ask my boy JJ Joe Jordan, how you feeling today, man?
Hey, I'm feeling better than a lot of these teams down 3-1. I know you said we knee deep to the second round. Some dudes, they chilling in the water, and some dudes like this in the water. They got their nose at the tip of the water, So we're going to see what's going to happen.
100% facts, man. Speaking of dang, they're drowning, man. Getting ready to get eliminated. The Boston Celtics down 3-1 right now. To the New York Knicks. Hey, JJ, Joe Jordan, I didn't expect this. You didn't expect this. We both had the Celtics. I think I had him in 5 or 6. I think you also had him in, I believe, 5. Yeah, I might have said 5 too, if I'm not mistaken. But we both had the Celtics winning this series, and this has been a shocker. And now, after Game 4, we just saw Jason Tatum go down with an Achilles tear. Prayers up to Jason Tatum, wishing him a speedy recovery. But that got me thinking, Joe, because I said something on the last episode, and I didn't forget. I did say I felt like Jason Tatum was a little overrated. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but it's just how I was feeling in the moment. But seeing how he played in Game 4, watching him go down with that injury, and seeing how the Celtics looked after that, envisioning how I think the Celtics are going to look now without him, it's got me thinking, Joe, do you think at this point he's undervalued, underappreciated, however we want to phrase it?
No, I don't think he's undervalued, unappreciated. I don't. So, first of all, is he appreciated? I mean, he wins first team all NBA probably almost every year, AJ. Also, when you ask somebody who's your top 5 players in the NBA, Jason Tatum is in the top 5. Last time I checked, does he have an MVP? Anybody else in the top 5 is an MVP or about to get MVP? Is he a champion? He's a champion, but did he win MVP as a champion? No, he did not. Everybody else in the top 5, they are a champion. They were the best player and won MVP. So he's not overvalued. He gets the respect he deserves. The thing is, we probably overvalue him too much because the expectations are so high for him because we expect so much from Tatum. I always tell Boston fans, and anybody don't know me right now, I'm from Washington, D.C., but / Capitol Heights. Shout out to Capitol Heights, right? But I live I live in Rhode Island, aka in the Boston area, right? AJ, all the time meet people, and I always tell them, Jason Tatum should be in the best player conversation. Think about it. He can score, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can pass, he's a defender, he can rebound, he can do everything. He's 6'10", 6'9", right? He got broad shoulders like Giannis. I mean, he got a long wingspan, and he has the best supporting cast in the NBA. But yet, He's not in the best player conversation, and it's because of him. We expect so much from him, but he underachieved in our eyes. You know why, AJ? I still remember in the playoffs when they went down 0-3 to Miami. In those 3 games, they went down 0-3 to Miami. Tatum was horrible in the fourth quarter. I remember them playing Golden State Warriors in the NBA championship. It was his first finals, but he broke the record with the most turnovers in the NBA finals. And then last time I believe he shot 30-something% from the field in the NBA finals. Even last year, I remember he was on track to win MVP, AJ. What happened? Game 3 in Dallas. He balls out in the first half. Second half, that's it. Yeah. Jaylen Brown took over in the second half. Jaylen Brown took over. That's why that Game 3 game was the game when Jaylen Brown took over. That's what won him the MVP and him guarding Luka full court the whole series. So I don't think he's undervalued. If anything, we overvalue him, meaning we put so much expectations on him because we expect so much from him because we know he can do so much. So I think he's getting the exact credit he deserves. And obviously, please, he had a gruesome injury. I don't want this to be a bashing on Tatum. I do wish for, pray for a speedy recovery. But injury is part of the NBA, man. I just want to see you bounce back because every setback is a setup for a comeback. There it is.
Yep. I saw you was getting it together. It was coming. It was coming along. Hey, man, listen. So for people who don't know, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Me and Joe Jordan, we talk about these topics a bit. At least we say what we want to talk about, throughout the day, and we kind of start to prep throughout the day. And a lot of times I send topics or Joe sends topics, and I don't know if he has the answers to the topics that he sends right away, but I know in a lot of cases I don't have the answer, but it's something that's trending and it's something that I'm thinking about. And so, like usual with a lot of these different topics, I kind of went back and forth. There's a side of me that does feel like he is disrespected because I do think there are some people that might not have him in that top 5. I do think there are some people that view him as not as great as a Giannis, not as great as a Jokic, not as great as a SGA, not as some cats. I mean, I know last year I was pushing for Anthony Edwards. Like, I think Ant-Man a little better than so, and I know I'm not the only one. On the other side of it, I see the other side, Joe, where it's like, if he is undervalued and underappreciated, it's his fault. It's his fault. Now, like you said, Joe, went down with a terrible injury the other night. Wish him a speedy recovery. I have confidence he's still young. He's going to bounce back and be better than ever. We'll see how the Celtics look going forward in this series, right? But we wish him a speedy recovery. And I do think we will see the effects of him not being out there because he is super important to this Celtics team. This team is great, but he is super important to this Celtics team. But there is a reason why some, not all, there's a reason why some have questioned if he's the best player on his team. Joe, got some numbers to throw at you. Over the last couple years, Jason Tatum has averaged about 27 points a game, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Next season, 30 points a game, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. The following season, 27 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. This season, 27 points per game, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. This is the Jason Tatum we expect to see in the playoffs. More importantly, this is the Jason Tatum we expect to see in the finals. Jason Tatum been to the finals 2 times. Jason Tatum's numbers in the finals, both finals combined. Jason Tatum averages. Are you ready for this, Joe?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
22 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 38% from the field.
38%.
Like, he has not played well at the highest stage. And we all know that is what makes guys into legends. That's what you're remembered for. When you get to that point, that's not to say Jason Tatum hasn't had amazing playoff runs, amazing playoff games, most notably a couple years ago where they were down, I want to say 3-2 to the Bucks, and he went nuclear in game 6 and extended the series to 7. He's had moments, but with the money on the line in the finals, Yes, this past finals, he did a great job rebounding and facilitating, but offensively scoring, he just wasn't efficient at all. And then in this playoffs, we've seen a lot of the same thing. Him be non-effective on the offensive side of the ball, settling for threes when he should be attacking the basket, playing on the outside when at times sometimes he should be playing in the paint, getting switches with guys like Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, and not attacking those mismatches, settling for three-point shots and not shooting it effectively. Now, to his credit, like I said, before he went down with an injury, he was having a day. I said in the chat, he having one of them classic Mark Jackson, mama, there goes that man type of games. Like, it was one of them type of games. Like, yo, Jason Tatum, respect. But it feels like too often he lacks those performances. Too often with the money on the line, he lacks those type of performances. I want to see regular season Jason Tatum in the playoffs, and more importantly in the finals more often, because the reason why we think of him in the light that we think of him is because we've seen him play extremely well in the regular season. We've seen him put up a lot of points, a lot of rebounds, a lot of assists, and be efficient in the regular season. But in the playoffs and in the finals, we see a drop off. Maybe it's because defenses are game planning for him differently. We all know the playoffs is different, but we see a drop off. And the last thing I'll say is this, and I don't think people talk about this. Like, people talk about it, but they don't talk about it probably as much as they should. Anthony Edwards has moments like this too. Like, Anthony Edwards, to my eye, has not been great this postseason. He just hasn't when it comes to efficiency. Now, his impact on the game has been great, especially in the Lakers series. Like, attacking the basket, defense collapse, drive kick, bucket. Drive kick, bucket. Oh, y'all not collapsing. Now I'm finger rolling in the paint. Now I'm dunking. Now I'm going crazy. He had a 40-point game against the Lakers. He had a 40-point game the other night. Like, he's had moments, right? But he's been very inefficient. The thing that he has that Jason Tatum doesn't have is he has a certain aura. He has a certain pizzazz about him. He has a certain swagger about him that it's not Jason Tatum's fault that he's kind of quiet and he doesn't have that. He kind of lacks that, but like, he kind of lacks that like aura or pizzazz of a guy that's like the guy. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of lacks that. And it'll be one thing if he was just a Jokic, where Jokic don't have that either, but Jokic is dominant.
Yeah.
But he's not as dominant, and he's also lacking that. So I feel like that's why he's excluded from these conversations. So to answer the question directly, I do feel like he is undervalued, but I feel like it is his fault that I don't think it's our fault. If we undervalue him, I don't think it's our fault that we undervalue him. I think it's his fault. I think he got to be better. We know he can be. I think both of us would agree he's a top 5 player.
Yeah.
But he don't always play like a top 5 player, especially with the money on the line.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, though. Ant has not been efficient, but he's been one of the top scorers in the fourth quarter this playoffs.
That's
Don't
true.
get me wrong. Tatum have balled out this last fourth quarter. He has. But look, I want to bring you something to the table to you, AJ, and bring you to a different situation where I said this. Jimmy Butler, right? There's been questions about him being a superstar. And the reason why people don't put him as a superstar, AJ, is because of his inconsistency in the playoffs. Last night, perfect example. He goes out, game 3, drops 33, super aggressive, take 22 shots. Then comes out, down 2-1. Don't forget, the series tied 1-1. And you take 22 shots. Now you're down 2-1 with a game at home, going back to Minnesota if you lose or win, and you only take 9 shots? And it's like, Jimmy, what are you doing? Jason Tatum is the same way.
Yeah.
Only difference is we kill Tatum because we expect Tatum to do more because he performs.
And he's in his prime.
He's young. And like you said, he shows us this in the regular season. And we know he can be better. Butler, he's an overachiever. You know, we look at brother like an overachiever. He don't have the skill set like Tatum. Tatum has a skill set to be the best player in the NBA. Like, why is Shea in the conversation? Why not Tatum? Literally, when you look at Shea and Tatum, Shea is literally there because of he's way more aggressive, he's way more efficient. That's it. For real.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're giving. I don't think we're overkilling Tatum. I think it's a privilege that we are killing him because he said himself in his press conference after winning Game 3, when you're that guy, here's what he said: when you're that guy, it comes with it. If you're that guy, we don't kill Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown been terrible in the series too, but we haven't talked about Jaylen Brown for real
Yeah.
because we don't expect
We
Jaylen
about,
Brown.
my bad to cut you off, but we about to talk about him a lot coming up pretty soon. Maybe not on this episode, but we're gonna talk about him a lot too.
And last thing I want to say before we move on to the next topic, this injury to Tatum, also AJ, I'm not gonna call it a blessing in disguise, which I think it is, right? And everything is always a blessing in disguise. God always take things that look bad in our eyes and flip it, right? But number one, we can, like you said, we can finally see Jaylen Brown because Tatum most likely gonna be out for the whole year. So I'm not talking about just tomorrow when they play the Knicks. I'm talking about next year when he's that guy. Number one, the whole season. What you gonna do, Brown? And then finally, AJ, we might sit back and actually appreciate Tatum more because we might see the Celtics not get home court advantage. You know what I mean? But it's also gonna flip if they turn around and be a number 2 seed or a number 1 seed next year. Then the slander is gonna continue for Tatum. So
yeah. I definitely think we're going to see the difference because I do think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are two similar players but very different. Like I think Jaylen Brown is a better defender. Jaylen Brown don't like. You said something. You said something in the chat in the last night. And you were just like, and for the people that's watching that's not in the chat, y'all need to join the chats. Y'all need to join the chats. The chats be popping every game day. Just join, especially the NFL. Popping every game day. Every game day is cracking. But
can't wait to open the night. Woo, go ahead.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you said that I don't want to hear anymore that Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum. Like that's not. Yeah, like they're not on the same level. And I responded. I don't know if you saw it, but I responded. I'm like, I don't know, Joe. They both kind of been struggling this series. I'm not sure if I could fully agree with that. But then I sat back and thought about it. And I'm watching Tatum go off of 42. And I'm like, I feel where he's coming from. Even though Jason Tatum not as consistent, Jason Tatum's ceiling is higher than Jaylen Brown's ceiling. I think Jaylen Brown is more consistent overall. Like, I think for the most part what you're going to get from Jaylen Brown. He has his off days, but for the most part, he's pretty even kill. Yeah, he pretty even kill. Jason Tatum, like, he can have a really rough night, but then he could go off of 45, 50, and it's like, yo, it's nothing that we could do with this man right now. So I get where you're coming from, and I do think the Celtics are going to feel the effects of not having that guy that now maybe Jaylen Brown fooling us, and he can do that. We're going to see.
I know.
But they're going to feel the effects of defenses fully game planning for Jaylen Brown without Jason Tatum there, and Jaylen Brown not being a guy that can elevate to those heights. He might get you 30, but when you start getting to 40, you kind of pushing it with Jaylen Brown. Like, I don't know if you're going to get you 40 to 50. Jason Tatum gives you that, like, he might go for 50 any given night type of feeling. So, but I think, like you said, I think it's going to play into his favor more. It's a blessing in disguise. People will see everything he means to Boston over the rest of this playoff series, which I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but over this playoff series and over the following season for sure.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Pack it.
Yeah. And it's crazy because if Jason Tatum was healthy, I still would say Boston is, even if they lost, I still would be like, I think, bro, I have to see them get beat 4 times, bro. They've shot, and I'm going to talk about this for a hot second before we move on. The Celtics in this series have shot so bad from 3. I don't like how they settle for all these threes. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like they live by the 3, die by the 3. That's how they play. But they've shot so, especially in the first 2 games, they shot so bad for long extended stretches to the point where it's like, bro, they're not going to shoot this bad forever. They're not going to shoot this bad forever. And we saw in game 3, they lit it up. Game 4 was kind of a close game. The Knicks pulled it out, but they will be going back home to Boston. I think with Tatum, they will get that win and then go back to New York. They will be one of those teams where it's like, I think they could come back. I'd have to see them out, bro. to be like, oh, they done. But now without Tatum, yeah, they're done. But if they had Tatum, I'd probably be rocking with the Celtics with this Laker logo in the background. I'll probably still be picking the Celtics until they get knocked off, bro. Like, I just think their upside, when they're making their shots, their upside is so high, bro. It's so high. When they're on, they're almost unbeatable. They're almost unbeatable when they're on, bro. Like, they're easily the best team, you know? But when they're off, they giving up 20-point, 30-point leads.
I'm with you, but like my mindset was whoever wins this game is winning the series. And this series, I was getting deja vu from the Miami Heat series when they were down 0-3. I was just like you. I've been there. I was like, yo, if there's any team that can come out from 0-3, I said it on all too well, it's this team against that team.
Yeah.
And they come back and Tatum got hurt. Like, it's literally deja vu, bro. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we got two players, AJ. That's balling. That's hooping. You got Batman, Superman, Ant-Man, balling.
Yep.
And we got Julius Randle balling. So you proposed this question. I'm curious to see what you got to say. Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, and Julius Randle, are they the best duo remaining in the playoffs right now?
I think given how they're now, before I say this, context. I know Vaughn is going to look at this because we was debating the other day. Because I said, and this is something that I want to revisit at some point. I said I still believe that the Knicks won the trade between the Knicks and the Timberwolves back when they traded Julius Randle and Karl Anthony Towns. That's how I felt. I think the Wolves came out solid, but I thought that the Knicks came out with a better deal. And now the Knicks are going, we assume, to the conference finals. But so are the Warriors. And it's kind of crazy to say, but I say all that to say, with respect to that take, and I want to get to that take at a later date, if we're going off of how duos are playing right now, oh my goodness, bro. Ant-Man and Julius Randle playing out of their mind. Shout out to the Pacers for advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. Crazy. No more saying we're like the Hawks a few years ago. Respect to him.
Yeah, he got some smoke for you, AJ.
Yeah, I know he got some respect to him. Respect to him. Hey, I did have the Cavs winning. I had no faith in the Pacers. They got my respect. They got my respect, bro. They got my respect. So shout out to the Indiana Pacers. But these duos, I don't think there is a duo currently playing better than Ant-Man and Julius Randle right now. And I love how they're playing off of each other. To start the season, it was so clunky. It was, all right, you go. All right, now I go. Ant-Man got the ball top of the key. Everybody ISO, get out the way. Now Ant-Man going to do his thing. Then it was, all right, Ant-Man, he doing his thing. All right, we going to give it to Julius. Julius going to come down. Everybody get out the way. We barreling through guys, and that's how we going to play. And at times, they still play the same way. But you can tell they have a feel for each other now. You could tell, I know where Ant-Man likes the ball. I know where Julius Randle likes the ball. I know when he's in this spot to get out of his way. I know when he's here, he's looking to pass. I'm going to cut right here. Same thing, vice versa. These boys, let me get the numbers. Let me get the numbers back up because I just had them up. First off, in the Lakers series, Julius Randle was playing out of his mind. And shout out to him because I didn't know if he was going to play at this level in the playoffs, given his history. We know his playoff history. I didn't know he was going to play at this level. I had to, hey, let's just see what he do. He has potential to dominate the Lakers series. He has potential to dominate the Warriors series. But let's just see how he plays. In the Lakers series, 23 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and he was dominant. Like, he was the most consistent player for the Wolves in that series. High upside for Anthony Edwards, as we know. But the most consistent player on both sides of the ball, in my eyes, Julius Randle. The impact he had on LeBron, attacking the paint, the impact he had on the boards, scoring at will. I honestly think he's a part of the reason why LeBron got hurt, not in a bad way, but just in a way of like he was beating up on LeBron. It was very physical on LeBron the entire series, dealing with Julius Randle in the paint. And then obviously Anthony Edwards in that series. I mean, he wasn't the most efficient, but he did give you 27 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, We saw what Anthony Edwards did in that series. Then went out and mocked everybody with the myself included with the Ant-Man, Superman, Batman, Lakers and Fire. Like, so shout out to him. And then you got this series. Where the numbers just kind of disappeared on me. But Ant-Man averaging around 27 points a game. Julius Randle averaging around 24, 25 a game. Like they, again, playing off of each other and dominating. And this is the thing, Joe. I know a lot of people want to say Steph Curry is the reason why this is happening. And I do think to an extent, Steph Curry definitely makes an impact on this series if he's healthy. But I'm going to say this. Defensively, Steph wasn't going to help with stopping Anthony Edwards. Defensively, Steph wasn't going to help with stopping Julius Randle. Julius Randle out there killing Draymond Green. Got to be talked about. Anytime they matched up, he taking him down there to that post fade. He laying the ball up over the top, hook shot over the top, shooting the tray effectively. Now, I think Draymond Green is surprising me offensively, too, because he hitting threes and playing well offensively, too. So, shout out to Draymond. But defensively, the guy who said he wants to be Defensive Player of the Year, Julius Randle having his way. Julius Randle is having his way with Draymond Green. So, when I look at the landscape of the playoffs, I mean, you know how I feel about OKC. I think it's SGA and just it's a mixture of different guys you could throw in there. The Denver Nuggets with Jokic and Jamal Murray. Both of them, they haven't been super efficient, especially Jokic. Jokic kind of has struggled in this series, even though it's 2-2. So even though I honestly feel like they are the better duo off the strength of Jokic, I don't think they're playing as good currently as Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. Obviously, if Steph is playing, Steph and Jimmy will be in that conversation. But what is it now? Is it Jimmy and Buddy Hield? Is it Draymond and Buddy Hield? Like Kuminga, right? Who should have been getting playing time before. I don't know what's going on with that situation. But Kuminga is playing great basketball. But I don't consider them in that conversation. Cleveland been banged up for far too long. I mean, you could throw Donovan Mitchell in there and Darius Garland. I don't know who else you would really throw in that conversation, but they just got it bounced. So I can't really put them in that conversation. I think the Pacers are a win by committee type of team. It's clear that Tyrese Halliburton is the best player, but you could throw a lot of players in there as the number 2 for that team, which makes them effective. And then when I look at the other team that really is pushing it, I believe, is probably the Knicks with Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. But Cat not playing as good as Julius Randle is. You're not playing as well as Julius Randle is. I don't know if Ant is playing at the effect on the game wise. I'm not sure that Ant is playing as well as Brunson. It might be a push. I think it's close, but I think the gap between the number 2s between Julius Randle and Cat, I think the gap right now in the play is evident. So, and then you got Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and Tatum just got hurt. But even before he got hurt, they weren't playing well. So right now, man, I don't really think it's close. I think Julius Randle and Ant-Man are the best remaining duo. I'll say the best playing remaining duo left. That's what I'll say. The best playing remain, like how they're playing, that they are playing the best out of the duo. I just want to make sure I phrase this right. For somebody to be like, oh, you think he better than Jason Tatum? And like, bro, come on, bro. Like, they are playing the best of the duos remaining. That's my take.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I do think they are the best remaining duo. And it's because, number one, they are the leading remaining duos, like he said, not including Tatum. They are the leading scorer as far as remaining duos. You look at the duos, like you said, look at all 4 teams, right? Celtics, we can just cancel them out. All 8 teams. Cancel them out. Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards. Jalen Brunson's not having a great series. This series, he was pretty good. He's been clutch, but he's not. He did have a great game too last game, but overall, his series hasn't been like overwhelming. And
he's reminding me of Ant. He's reminding me of Ant in the 4th quarter. Yeah. Yes,
and Julius Randle out of all the number 1s, you got Jalen Brunson, you got Shea, who this series literally been averaging 21 points a game against the Denver Nuggets. He has been averaged 27 in the whole playoffs, only 21 against the Denver Nuggets. You got Jokic, who's literally having his worst series I've seen in a long time, since he's been the Jokic that I know today, right? You look at who else? You look at Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, the Pacers is by committee. I think Tyrese Halliburton is like the fifth best scorer in this whole team, right? Something like that, right? In the whole series. And Donovan Mitchell, he is what he is. But you look at all the number twos, Julius Randle has hands down been the most consistent number two. And the difference between Julius Randle, see, Jokic and Murray, you have a case there, but we've seen games when Murray has been bad,
Yes.
poorly shooting percentage wise. But through these whole playoffs, people made a case that Randall has been playing Anthony Edwards. But the thing is, I would never say that because of the attention Anthony Edwards brings to the table that allows Randall to get what he gets. Randall gets one-on-one coverage every single time. Anthony Edwards don't. Anthony Edwards dealing with double teams literally all game. The coverages are literally trying to squeeze him. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say that. But they are the number one scoring duo in the NBA. Sorry, in the playoffs right now. And out of those top duos, they have the best field goal percentage in the playoffs. And on top of that, both of them are two-way players. Now, I feel like Jalen Williams and Shea will have a case, but Jalen Williams has not been consistent. Exactly. Sometimes Chet was the best player. Sometimes, but when it comes outside that Rudy Gobert shot game, outside that game, Randall and Anthony Edwards have been the best duo on their teams every single game. I can't say that for every other team. Literally, that's the only team I can say that for, besides the Celtics, but Tatum's no longer here no more. But I got to disagree with you on one thing you said. The problem with the Warriors is not defense. I get it. They probably can't stop them. They can't score for real. If Steph was there, the situation would be different. They had 80 points, in my opinion. I believe 80 points in 3 quarters, right? And Steph got hurt before that happened, and they still had 99 points. But if Steph was there, they would have had more. Right now, the Warriors are averaging 99 points a game this series, and the Timberwolves averaging 106. That's it. I think Steph is a 7-point margin.
Yes,
so
yes.
I do believe if Steph was here, listen. I'm gonna rub some feathers probably. All right. The Timberwolves, I think, like I said when we opened this topic, when the series started, I think people be overhyping the Timberwolves. I am not fond of the Timberwolves offense. I'm really not. All right. Their offense is really hit and miss. They're playing the injury riddle. Now, if they play the Nuggets, they might have a shot because some reason they got the Nuggets number.
No, yes.
But in the regular season, they play OKC very well. But in these playoffs, I think OKC will get them. Defensively, I think OKC is much better. What's keeping OKC in these dubs against Denver and against Memphis without Ja Morant is a defense. They offensively, OKC has not been good these whole playoffs outside of the 2 blowouts they had. But outside of that, they've been – go look at the 3-point percentages. They've been bad. But the defense has kept OKC up, like afloat, basically. And SGA hasn't really hit it a stride like he wanted to on a consistent basis. So, but Minnesota, man, I'm going to say it right now. If Denver make it, which I don't think they will, they might win. But if OKC make it, AJ, it's over.
Over in what?
Minnesota. This is the last time.
I'm saying over like the numbers. Over in 5, 6, 7.
We were visiting when that happened. All right? We'll get there. Wait. Hey, Jimmy Butler might got one more game for me, and then Steph might come back. So we gotta get there first. And OKC top 2. Let's get there first.
Let me say this about the Warriors.
They done?
They done, bro. They done, bro. They sleep. It's over with. But this all I want to say about the Timberwolves. I agree with you to an extent. This is the thing about the Wolves, though. And Jaden McDaniels said it right after game 1. They have a tendency to play down to their competition. Wow. It is what they do routinely. And
the whole Lakers series.
Exactly. Like it's what they do. When the team don't have their best player, they're almost more likely to take out the Wolves than they are when they do have their best player. Because when they have their best player, the Wolves are on point. Their Anthony Edwards is more so on point. Julius Randle is more so. Julius Randle probably going to stay the same. But the rest of the team is more on point than they are without Steph. It's like, I was actually telling my coworker this today. I was telling him, I'm like, Steph being out of this series not only took the win out of the Warriors' sails, it took the win out of the Wolves' sails too. And you could tell. Like, when he went down, it was kind of like, all right, I get like Steph not here. They wanted to knock Steph out. So it could, I knocked out Bron, I knocked out KD, I knocked out Steph. We talked about it the other night. Like, trust me, I wish Steph was playing. Like, they want Steph to be available to go against the best. And I feel like now that Steph is not available, I feel like they kind of like they know they're the better team. They know they're gonna win, so they be chilling. They coast. They chill. Anthony Edwards. I'm gonna be passive. Like I said, I don't think Julius Randle is Julius Randle with or without Steph out there. I don't think he's changing. But it's like everyone else, like they just lack that normal aggression. It feels like on both sides of the ball until it gets tight, until they feel like they might lose. Then Anthony Edwards, like third quarter last night, Anthony Edwards goes crazy. Like then it's like, all right, we gotta turn it up now. Like now we gotta get it going. Like I said, with Steph out there, bro, I think the series is closer. It might be 2-2, but I probably still pick the Wolves off the strength of their size and off the strength of like watching this series. I'm more as crazy as it sounds because the margins of victory have been kind of small without Steph. I'm more confident that they'd win even if Steph was there watching this series because I thought if anything they'd be able to like whenever they needed to cut the water off on Ant with Kuminga or with Jimmy Butler, they'd be able to cut the water off. Like, not completely, but slow them all the way down. Julius Randle, he got to deal with Draymond Green. I'm thinking Draymond is, Draymond going to slow that down. And these boys been hooping, especially Julius, who, in my opinion, at this point is kind of like, the number two is kind of crazy to say this about a number two option, but he's kind of like the X factor for the team right now. Like, when he's balling, they're more likely to win. They don't have no answer for those guys, bro. They honestly, bro, from what I see, they barely be having an answer for Rudy Gobert on the boards, bro. Like they be slapping it. They look like the Lakers. They look like the Lakers in the paint, bro. Slapping it and going for loose. So it's like I just feel like overall, bro, I agree to an extent. I do think the Wolves have been kind of fortunate, if I'm being honest. They played a Lakers team that was small and didn't want to put their only real big out there in that series, the back half of the series. And then in this series, you don't have Steph Curry. I think getting out of this series healthy, going up against either Denver, and you said it, if they see Denver, Wolves, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it because I'm feeling a certain way about Denver right now too, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I think we'll see a different Wolves team no matter who they play in the next one. I think we will see the best version of the Wolves will come out next series when they're playing for a chance to go to the finals against two teams that are healthy and two teams that will probably be the favorites going into the series. I think you'll get the best out of them when they feel like, all right, we could lose this series. So like we gotta hoop. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it.
See, yeah, and I do want to correct something I said about Shea. I say he averaging 21 points a game versus Denver. My boy averaging 27.
Yeah, I just saw that.
27, 8, and 7. My bad, Shea. I think I was on my last two games probably. I don't know, but
yeah, I think it's funny. Last two games. And speaking of SGA, let's talk about that series next, man. Damn. One of us picked the Nuggets in 7 games.
Woo.
AJ, that was me. Picked the Nuggets in 7 games. The other one of us, Joe Jordan, JJ, picked OKC, I believe, in 6 games, if I'm not mistaken.
I said 7.
Oh, you said 7? Okay, you picked. Okay, my bad. I try to shave that game off at the end, try to shave that, But he picked OKC in 7 games. So, Joe Jordan, I got to ask you, how are you feeling about this series? Are you still confident in the Nuggets in 7? Or, I'm sorry, the Thunder in 7. Or are you kind of leaning towards the Nuggets now that you didn't see some of these games play out?
I think you might ask me my leaning towards 6 and 7. My bad. But I feel really good. I feel like this is the perfect opponent for the OKC Thunder. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. Everybody kept saying, rightfully so, they're too young. They don't have experience. They only had 1 playoff run together, and it wasn't really a run. They only played 2 series. I get it, but going against the Denver Nuggets, AJ, you spilled it out perfectly. You said they're champions, Joe. They just hard to get away. They're going to fight to the end. They just got that grit. They got championship DNA. You are right. Yep. When you watch this series, OKC, every game, Every game except for game 3. Sorry, game 4. But every game they try to go. One game they actually went away and Jokic fouled out. But every game they try to get away. They try to get away. But Denver just stay there. They just stay there. They just stay there. I'm like, dang, what's going on? One day it's Aaron Gordon. One day it's MPJ. One day it's Westbrook. And one day it's just Jokic going crazy. And this was Jokic playing bad too the last 3 games, in my opinion. Playing like very average. But OKC, they grew up in game 4, AJ. They grew up. The Nuggets were up. They were up. They had full control of that game in the fourth quarter. The OKC Thunder went on an 11-0 run, took the lead, and kept the lead. And the youngins closed the game out. I'm talking about SGA getting multiple buckets. Jalen Williams got a bucket. Case and Wallace playing very good for this team on both sides of the ball against Jamal Murray and on the other side of the ball, hitting these wide open threes they get in front of them. But that game 4, I was already confident. First of all, I want to say this. Game 3, I was very upset at SGA. I felt like game 3, it was Jalen Williams' game. I actually tweeted. I said, yo, this is Jalen Williams' game. He's the one that's balling. Let him get the last shot. They gave it to SGA. SGA set up for 3 too much in game 3. He did. He settled. And that's one thing he came into the season saying, like, yo, I wanted to shoot more 3 because last year he didn't shoot out 3, but this year his 3-point attempts went up. And I feel like at times he settled for it. But last game, he closed them out. Last game, J-Dub closed them out. And Jokic, the defense they're playing on Jokic, Westbrook, go ahead. Go ahead. We'll take that. You know, MPJ, I know you on fire, but you can have that. Go ahead. Jamal Murray, we're going to stay on you. Christian Brown, go ahead and take it. You more like Chris Brown to us. Go ahead and dance. But look, do your thing. But I'm still confident, AJ, and I'm going to stick to 7, but I would not be surprised if it go out 6. I really feel like game 4 was a turning point. Game 3 happened. SGA walks off the court. I put it in the chat. I said, my man smiling, walking off the court. He about to go off game 4. I go on Twitter. People actually killing SGA. I'm like, they killing him. To myself, oh, he smiling off the court. Why he laughing? I'm like, if anybody is a hooper, you know he's smiling because it's like, all right, we got your next game. And then he goes to the podium. He said that they was heckling him. And then he said, people want to laugh when they up, but we going to respond. I remember after game 1, they lost. He in the press conference, he said, there's no need to dwell on the past. We can't control it. Let's move forward and take game 2. And that's what they did. And then he said, we said in game 3, and they said they're going to take game 4. And that's what they did. I said this. OKC is not seasoned, but Sega, he is seasoned. He's been around the block. He's been with Chris Paul. He's been with Pat Bev and the Clippers and Lou Will on them, Doc Rivers, all them guys. When Kevin Durant said, I'm Kevin Durant, he was on that squad. SGA been around the block. So he's going to be the leader that take him over the top. And this will be the youngest. I had him beating the Celtics, but once they play the Nuggets, that's it. The Nuggets is a champ. I'm sorry with Minnesota. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect y'all. The Nuggets, that's their championship. Once they beat the Nuggets, they're going to beat Minnesota. And whoever come out the East, Ty, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ty. Halliburton, shower curtain, hand. I don't know the third thing that rhyme. OKC in 5.
Oh man, we definitely got to revisit that. We got to revisit the end of that right there. But this is what I'll say, Joe. I remember we was talking about the Clippers and the Nuggets series. And I was like, don't let this Nuggets team fool you, bruh. I seen this too many times, bro. They look defeated one day, and then the next day they just come out playing lights out. And I said, I think the gap between the two teams are closer than they appear. Like, I think it's like neck and neck. What I will say about this series is the Thunder are better than the Nuggets. That's clear to me. Like, they are the better team than the Denver Nuggets. Game 2 was like, all right. All right. Now, this getting kind of crazy. Now, I didn't want to read too deep into it because we saw, OKC come out and smack the Grizz and then go into Memphis and not look the same. So I didn't want to read too much into it. I said, Denver, y'all got y'all split. Y'all got what y'all needed. Now let's go on the road, or let's go home and get the wins at the crib. Won game 3 and turn around and lost game 4. But I'm looking like it's clear that the Thunder are the younger and the more talented team. But what I will say, Joe, is this. They playing some great defense. They playing some great defense on Jokic. But there's no way he finna keep shooting 39% from the field. That's not go continue, bro. It's no way he finna keep shooting 21% from Trey. I can't see it. It's no way Jamal Murray finna keep shooting, at least I believe. Because Jamal do be having moments like this. But shooting 41% from the field, I don't think it's going to continue. Even Russell Westbrook, I don't think he's going to shoot the 3 much better. But shooting, 38, 39% from the field, I think that this is the reason why I still have faith in the Nuggets and why I'm still pretty confident in the Nuggets in this series. Is because even though I respect OKC and I know they can play better and I do believe they are the better team, I do think the Nuggets have another level that they can tap into. And I do believe they're getting ready to tap into that level. Now, I said Nuggets in 7 because I kind of envisioned this. I kind of envision you go and get the split. I think at the time it was the Nuggets had already won a game. But you go and get the split, right? And then you go home and you probably split at home because the Thunder not just going to lay down. I thought they had a really good chance at winning game 4, though. All them missed free throws was crazy on behalf of Denver. I know the Thunder missed some, too. These boys missed like 10 free throws in that game. Most of them felt like in the fourth quarter. I felt like that. In my humble opinion, I feel like that was the game. All those missed free throws. What, they lose the game by 5 points. Jokic missing free throws. Aaron Gordon missing free. Like, y'all, make a couple free throws. It's a different game. Nevertheless, I figured they would split at the crib because the Thunder are not gonna. They're not going to just lay down. And I fully expect the Thunder to go home and to win game 6. Or, I'm sorry, game 5. I expect it. And Joe, I wouldn't be shocked if they smack the Nuggets in game 6. Or game 5. I actually kind of hope they do for the sake of my pick. I kind of hope that they do exactly what they did in game 2 and game 5. Because if they do, I can count on a signature, either Jamal Murray game, a signature Jokic game, or both of them going off at the same time, extending it to 7. And if this team can get you to 7 games, I don't care if it's in OKC, I don't care if it's in LA, I don't care if it's in Boston, I don't care if it's in Cleveland, I don't care if it's on Mars, Pluto, Jupiter, I don't care where you playing. Jokic, Murray, game 7 with a chance to advance to the Western Conference Finals, I'm putting the house on Denver every single time, unless they're going against the Wolves. That was a different story. The Wolves are a little different. The Wolves is a weird matchup. They was up by 20 in that game too, by the way. They was up by a dub. But outside of that, we talking about this series. And in this series, I will put the house. Yeah, I might not. Wife might kill me. I bet the house on the game. Might not want to do all that. might not want to do that, boy. She might have a weapon to my head. Like, they better win this game. They better win this game. Or that
the whole time the game won.
Right. No, that's facts. No, but I think we're due. I think we are due for the series going Thunder, Nuggets. Because I think the Thunder are going to do their thing at home, but I think the Nuggets are going to respond. Jokic and Jamal, if not, because Jokic is due for a game or 2. I think Jokic is going to have a day in game 6. And game 7, I trust him over this young OKC team. I agree with you, though. This is a great matchup for OKC from the standpoint of you're going against a team with championship pedigree. And if you can knock this team off, the confidence and the experience you have going through a series like this, where you knocked off these guys who are proven, who have done that, who are going to make all the adjustments. Still wish Mike Malone was there, but who are going to make all of the adjustments necessary to get you out of there, and you still come out and win in 6 or 7. I think that at that point, we can no longer say that, or I can no longer say they don't have experience. At that point, they got all the experience they need. They took out Denver, who just won the championship a few years ago. But I don't think they are ready. And I think with the money on the line, SGA going to be there. I'm not sure them boys going to follow him. I'm not sure. I'm not confident, bro. They got to show me, bro. They got to show me. I'm not confident they going to be there with him, bro. And I'm confident Jamal, Jokic, and even Aaron Gordon, I'm confident that them 3 guys going to be there. He been hooping all playoffs. They going to be there, bro. So I'm I'm still gonna rock with the experience. I'm still confident because I like the experience that the Nuggets have. Even though OKC is the better team, I'm gonna rock with the team that's a bit more experienced and who have been there, done that.
I want to say shout out to Eric Gordon. He lost his brother in the car accident, and then he took his sons in. One of them is staying with his mom, obviously, and he changed his number. I think it's number 32. Changed number 2, and then they finished 50. He was number 50 originally, and changed his number 32. They finished the season 50-32, and then when he hit the game winning shot against OKC, it was 3.2 seconds left on the clock, which is crazy. All right, but shout out to you, Aaron Gordon. But look, AJ, I get it. Jokic's not playing well. He's not. OKC got a lot to do with it. The game plan they have, they balling him a lot. They're forcing him to take more jump shots. That's why the percentage is lower, because he's not taking a lot of shots in the paint. He's taking a lot of shots outside of the paint. I've never seen the Jokic take this many jump shots. But look, when I look at OKC, do you know as bad as Jokic shooting from 3? What is he shooting? He's shooting what? 21.2, 14%? That's better than SGA. You know that? He's shooting better than SGA from 3. Jalen Williams, 0.208. Chet Holmgren, 0.200. Lou Dort, 0.250. You really think that's going to continue? Isaiah Joe, 33%. Isaiah Joe is lights out. Do we think? Now, Alex Caruso, 42%. I get it.
Yeah.
But do we think that these guys going to keep, like I said to you in the earlier Minnesota Timberwolves segment, OKC is not shooting well, but their defense, and AJ, you're right. When you watch the Nuggets and Clippers, I said Clippers are better, right? But you can see, like, okay, it's evenly matched. When you watch OKC, you can just see the only difference. OKC is better, but the Nuggets experience is keeping them in the series. You can see it, but you can see OKC is climbing that hill. You can see it.
Yeah.
Game 4, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it. Game 4 was like, yo, these boys go up right here. Now I gotta see Game 5. Obviously, they're gonna be at home. AJ, if they blow them out, bro, it's over. Ain't no coming back.
I don't think so, bro.
It ain't coming back, man.
Bro, that Nuggets team, bro, I'm telling you, the best case scenario for the Thunder is that they win a tight game, because that just goes to show it was tight up to the end.
Right.
Denver, they was competing. They kind of wore them down at the end. Maybe Denver goes into the next game kind of tired, and they don't have the energy or the juice for Game 6. If they smoke the Nuggets, I'm telling you now, Denver not going out like that at the crib, bro.
Now,
they
look,
not going out like that, bro.
I do agree. A close win is better for the confidence. It's like we got their best shot and we beat them. I get that. And the blowout is like they probably threw in the towel. I'm telling you, that boy Sega, that boy SGA, if they win Game 4, he gonna close them out. No, Game 5. He gonna close them out. He needs a signature game. This is what he needs. He needs that game. A Kobe. That's what I said. I say you have a Kobe type run. He needs that Kobe like moment. It is hard to do it when you're blowing everybody out. It's hard to do it. Yeah. I get it. The man averaged 27 in Game 2. He didn't even play the fourth quarter. Come on, man. Like, he had 33, 34 in the third. Come on. And everybody gets the blowout. If you watch that game, he ignited the fire. He was going crazy in the first quarter. He had like 16 in the first quarter.
Bro, all of the Nuggets wins, bro. They've been having a scratch and claw for them mugs, bro.
They stole it. They were up, bro.
They be having a fight.
They only won that game, the first one, because Chet Holmgren choked. If he makes one free throw, or he makes both the free throw, which he usually does, or the coach don't foul 2 times with 2 seconds come off the clock, they just choke and they learn from their lesson. Game 3, it was on SGA. First, it was on the team. The team showed up and then SGA didn't do his part. And then SGA smiled. He said, you know what? They ain't winning no more games.
All right.
They ain't winning no more. I got y'all.
We gonna see. Well,
I got 7 still though. I got 7.
bro. I would say as a Thunder fan, I would want them to win and close it out in Denver in 6. Because Game 7 gonna be that's dicey, bro. Against that team,
that's what you want.
Yeah, of course.
AJ,
As a
don't get me
star, as a
wrong.
superstar, absolutely. Yep.
Don't get me wrong, AJ. Don't get me wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If OKC beat Denver in Game 7, you gonna think they're gonna win the championship. Oh no,
I'll say this. I'll say
you'll
this.
be more confident.
I'll be more confident. My
trepidation.
my trepidation about them was experience and having a solid number 2. I wouldn't have that trepidation about them no more. That's what I was saying.
There you go. That's what I really wanted to ask. Like the doubts you have, I'm telling you, this is a perfect series for them. Perfect. Yep. Perfect series. Perfect series. But I know a series that wasn't perfect. It just ended. The Cavaliers, hey, Spyda, I don't know. Pacers in 5. Pacers win. Spyda lose again in the second round. Never got to the conference finals, AJ. Never in his career. Had number 1 seed multiple times. But AJ, I'm curious to see what you have to say about this. Can Donovan Mitchell be the best player on a championship team?
No.
Oh.
No. Take that back. Yes.
Okay.
Let me rephrase. Yes. But it has to be a situation like the number 2, you can make an argument is the best player. It would have to be, it's got to be close.
AD.
Exactly. Like an AD or a Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown type of thing, where it's like, he the best player, but like sometimes Jaylen Brown, you think he the best player. Like it has to be something like that in order for him to win. I don't look at him as a star in this league at this point. Now we've seen it enough times. I don't look at him as a star in the league that can elevate the guys, that can have role players around him and elevate those guys to championship level. Like, I just don't see that. I see that in a guy like Jokic, right? A guy that can, like, not saying Jamal Murray is a role player, but like Jamal Murray is not a superstar. There's no question who's the best player on the Denver Nuggets. Nobody ever has to question that. We know it's Jokic. You know what I mean? So we've seen him with Utah. Best player on the team. You could make an argument the second best player on the team was maybe Rudy Gobert, the way he was playing with that team. The discrepancy between the two players were huge, and they went home in the second round. Spyda had great games, right? He had great moments, but they went home in the second round, right? Now this year, granted, you had a ton of injuries and things of that nature, but who's the second best player for Cleveland? Is it Evan Mobley? You could make the argument. Is it Darius Garland? You could make the argument. But like none of them are on Spyda's level, and I don't think either one of them are even close to Spyda's level. He needs a guy next to him that could be the perfect Robin, that could go off, and preferably a guy who can get others involved, because that's not his skill set. Donovan Mitchell is a bona fide scorer. That's what he does best. He scores the basketball. Donovan Mitchell, he ain't passing the ball a lot. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is the talent that's going to make everybody around him better in the playoffs. Regular season, yes. In the playoffs, he's not elevating the talent around him, and that was clear in Utah. I think it's clear right now in Cleveland. So, like I said, you got guys like, Luka, who I think with the Mavs made guys around him better with the lobs at the rim and the open shots they was able to get. And even though Kyrie is that guy, especially in Dallas, he wasn't Luka. But Kyrie is a great number 2. He just ain't Luka. He needs a situation where his number 2, and I'm trying to think of some names you could throw. Like, AD to LeBron is a good comparison, but like, you can make the argument AD is better than Donovan Mitchell. I'm not going to lie. I probably will make the argument I might take AD over Donovan Mitchell. I'm trying to think of a guy that's like right there, but not quite better than him. But he needs that in order to get over the hump. Because just him, with some subpar, barely guys that's not even all-stars next to him, they going to be a second-round exit every single year. Every single year. So that I think his scoring prowess cannot be denied. I mean, in this series, 33 points one day, 48 the next, 43 the next, and then he had 12 points in the game he got hurt in game, what was it, game 4? He got hurt and didn't finish the game.
Yeah.
And then tonight he had 35, but he shot 8 of 25 tonight and 3 of 11 the night before, right? Some of that I'm sure is due to injury. But the scoring prowess can't be denied. He can score the basketball, but he need a guy that's gonna come along, be that facilitator, whether it's at the point guard position or whether it's at the 3 position. Somebody that's gonna come along and get everybody else involved, and then pick and choose their spots where they can be effective, and fully allow Donovan Mitchell to be that guy. He needs a better supporting cast around him. But I do think he could be the best player on the championship team. But the teams can't be how they've been looking. Look, if LaMelo's healthy, maybe. But I think Donovan. I don't know, bruh. I ain't sold on LaMelo, bruh.
Nah, LaMelo can't play. LaMelo is ball dominant too.
Yeah, I'm not sold on LaMelo. I'm really trying to think, and I was trying to think of this before I came on air, but I was having a hard time thinking of another guy that you could pair with him that would be like the perfect guy on the kind of similar to on the same level, but not better than Donovan Mitchell at like the guard position. Like I said, that's tough.
It is. It is tough. Now, I do think he can be the best player on the championship team. Now look at his career. Those Utah teams weren't good, for real.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't playoff good. They weren't. Like you said, the second best player was Rudy Gobert, Jordan Clarkson. Like, come on, let's be real. Yeah, they're not going far. And look who they lost to. They beat OKC, where they should never beat. They beat Westbrook and Paul George, but you know Westbrook never left the first round as the best player. I'm sorry. I ain't want to take a shot at Westbrook, but that's just the case.
Yeah.
So, and they lost to Houston. The Rockets with James Harden. I mean, I don't blame them. Rockets were a better team, playoff-wise. Then the next year, he lost to the Rockets again. He lost to the Clippers. You know what I mean? Like, now the Clippers lost. Kawhi did get hurt, but Donovan Mitchell did his part. The team was just trash. Donovan Mitchell was almost scored. He scored over 30 points a game that series. And then when he lost to the Mavericks, I could just tell he just went out. You could tell that he was just out the door then. They lost to the Knicks. They got blown out when he was with Cleveland, and he came out and mentioned how, like, he has to be a better leader. They just weren't ready. Then last year, they play Orlando. He balls out. They win in Game 7. He gets hurt. They challenge Boston. Then this year happens. So, just like you said, the supporting cast around him. And I'm going to start. Darius Garland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Darius Garland is going to get him over the hump. Maybe they need to ship him out. Maybe. Yeah. He's an undersized point guard. Defensively, he's a liability. Now, he's a good passer, but if Darius Garland is not shooting the three well, he's not really having a good offensive game. Let's keep it real. All right? So, and then this year he was in and out of the lineup and stuff. So, I would try to get a better player that could fit Donovan Mitchell, a bigger point guard than him. Now, I might ruffle your feathers. I don't know if you will like this or you will dislike this. But I'm not comparing him to this player, but I'm going to compare him situation-wise. Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts, right, as the best player without the right supporting cast, he can get you to playoffs or win some games. But when you put a team around him, he can get you over the hump. When you put players that can, some nights, like you said, can be the best players. Some nights you can look at A.J. Brown. Yeah, he's probably the best player on the Eagles. Sometimes you can look at guys on defense. Yeah, he's the best player on the Eagles. You can do that sometimes. Yeah, Jalen Hurts can elevate his game and get them over level because he is a leader. One thing about Donovan Mitchell, I do agree. I do believe he's a leader. I do think he's a really good leader. And he does his part. He does ball out. You look at the I don't know the numbers by heart, but you look at the average scoring averages in playoff history, he's top 5. I believe he's a top 5 scoring average player in the playoffs. So I believe you put a team around him, maybe some guys who going like a team like Tatum team. How about that? Take Tatum out and put Mitchell there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Mitchell can like really get.
He could win a championship.
He can win a championship. I think he could.
I think so. Yeah.
Because
no shade at Jason Tatum though.
Look, Tyrone, they had a team. Look, they going crazy. I get it. Congrats. Mitchell had a team around him, but they weren't consistent enough against us and couldn't keep up with our pace. Sorry to the Pacers. But they that's just dumb, right? So I think with the right supporting cast around, I think he is the right leader. I think he is a scorer, and I believe the best attribute you can have in the NBA is scoring. And I do think I know you say he's not a he's not a good passer. Now he's not to the Luca level or Trey Young. He's not an elite passer, but he is a good pass. He's a good passer. Like I watch him play in these playoffs. He's been playing. He's been passing good. He's been averaging like over six assists a game. He's top 8, top 7 in the playoffs right now. And I'm talking about from the start. So
he
not,
don't. Wait, my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying I don't. When you watch though, he don't. It don't seems like it. He don't elevate his teams like that though. It feels like a lot of his great scoring outputs, bro. They be great, but it be just him. He just Donovan Mitchell going crazy, but like everybody else just kind of just sitting back watching him be Donovan Mitchell. Most notably in Utah, everybody was just kind of sitting back. I remember I think back to that series against Denver where him and Jamal Murray was going back and forth, and like everybody for Utah was just sitting back watching him like. Man, this man going. I don't know if they had seen him go off like that. Jamal too, because Jamal was going crazy. But I think everybody was just watching the show, like this man kind of going off. And I felt the similar way about the Cavs in game 2. Like he just kind of sitting back watching him, like, yo, he kind of going off, but he not elevating. I don't want to make this comparison, but I'm gonna make it.
I feel you
because it's the first person that comes to mind.
Oh,
it used to happen to Kobe.
Okay.
It used to happen to Kobe from time to time, bro. Where Kobe would just go off. And everybody just sit back watching Kobe go crazy. And Kobe keeping you in the game. And sometimes he winning the game off that. But a lot of times, if Gasol not involved, if Odom not involved, if Shannon Brown not involved, if Jordan Farmer not involved, if guys not involved and they're not getting their touches, then the team is struggling. And 9 times out of 10, they losing the basketball game. And so I kind of feel a similar way right now about watching Spyda. Now, some names that came to mind. There's one name in the chat that I want to get to, but there are some other names that I came across when doing some quick little research that I would definitely entertain. Obviously, this is not going to happen, but this will be a great fit. If you get Tyrese Halliburton, that would be great. If you get that would be great. But that's just on the line. That's just
anybody.
Right, but that's just along the lines of the type of players I'm thinking. So that's the first one that comes to mind, right? Another one, Joe, you might like this. It's not going to happen because he just got traded. But De'Aaron Fox would be great with Donovan Mitchell. Now, that's not going to happen. I think so, bro. The athleticism, being able to close games, shoot from the outside, and then the facilitator that De'Aaron Fox is, I think they'd be a great tandem. I think they'd be a great tandem that would help push them over the top. But I think the best name, I think Ty said the best name.
Trey Young?
Bro, what you want for Trey Young? I'm calling, bro, I think that's the best name. Because Trey Young has shown you the upside of it. I don't think he's better than Donovan Mitchell. But
he can.
I think he can be. And I think it's very close. And that's what he needs, bro. He needs somebody that's gonna match him. Like, he going crazy, all right, I'm going crazy too. Or if I'm not going crazy offensively scoring, we know Trey Young can facilitate the ball, and his shooting prowess, from the outside, he commands in itself. That alone, similar to Steph, not Steph, but similar, commands so much attention that in itself is going to open the doors for everybody else as far as getting easy buckets and things of that nature. I think Trey Young might be the best name. I think Trey Young's probably the best. And then you already got some decent defenders over there in Cleveland. Darius Garland ain't holding no defense. You replace him with Trey Young, they make a run. They absolutely, when healthy, they make a run. They absolutely make a run.
I think that's a big issue. See, Indiana, against Indiana specifically, what Indiana does a great job at is exploiting mismatches. And Darius Garland is a big issue. And Trey Young will be a big issue defensively.
Think so? I mean,
in the playoffs,
that's something you kind of got to deal with, though, right?
And Trey Young is like very ball dominant, also, and very inefficient at times. Now, don't get me wrong. Is he an upgrade from Darius Garland? Yes. I think Trey Young works better if he plays with another big, like an Anthony. I think Anthony Davis would be perfect with him. Anthony Davis is always
Trey Young.
Yes, Anthony
Okay.
Davis. You look at his career. He's always played his best with a point guard. When he had Tariq Evans, he elevated. When he had Rondo, oh he elevated. When he had an MVP season with the Lakers, LeBron played point guard. But LeBron tried to play shooting guard, and Davis didn't look the same. So I think Mitchell. I don't think pairing him with another guard is gonna get another hump. Get him over the hump
Really?
unless you build a team around him. Like it has to be a bunch of 3D guys. The problem is they don't have a bunch of 3D guys. The only 3D guy they got is Hunter. As far as on the wing, think about it. That's the
true.
only 3D guy they got. The reason why they're good defensively in the regular season because of Mobley and Randle.
But they got really Allen. They got Allen down there. But they got But they got good bigs to the point where if you get past those guys, you still got to finish over the top of those bigs in the paint.
That's true in the regular season.
Similar. But listen, think about the Mavs, bro. Think about how the Mavs made they run last year.
And Luka.
But listen. Okay. Luka is Luka. Kyrie is Kyrie. I'm not taking away from them, but I'm just talking
go back to
defensively.
Donovan Mitchell. I'm sorry, Spyda, but go ahead.
But I'm just talking about defense though. They're both great players. I'm just talking about defensively. Neither one. We know Luka ain't holding no defense, and Kyrie he tries, but he ain't no defensive ace. But you had those guys in the paint where if you blew past those guys, it was getting swatted at the rim, and they was running. That could be the case for the Cavs. That could be the case for the Cavs.
What makes up for the guard defense is Luka and Kyrie. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Luka and Kyrie. Go back and watch. Go back and think about the Minnesota series. They won because defense was pretty good. But if it was Kyrie turn, then Luka turn, then Kyrie, bro, that's going crazy individually.
This the thing, bro.
They got PJ.
Luka and Kyrie is Luka and Kyrie. We know that. But Donovan Mitchell and Trae Young can score the basketball, bro. They're those two players are those two players. But we ain't gonna act like Donovan Mitchell and Trae can't score. Those guys can put the ball in the hole now.
Here's the difference. Kyrie and Luka are both efficient. Donovan Mitchell is not super efficient, and definitely Trae Young. Donovan Mitchell. What killing with Donovan Mitchell is he can have a game because he's always aggressive. He can go 8 for 12 from 3, right? Then next game he'll go 2 for 13. Like that's what he does, bro. He be killing me.
But would they both be inefficient at the same time though? Ideally, it's you need if Donovan Mitchell don't have a great game, they lose every time. That was the case in Utah. That's the case with the Cavs. If Donovan Mitchell don't have a day, if he don't go for 30, 40, they probably going to lose when they're playing high-level competition. They're going to lose that game, bro. If they add Trae Young to that equation and take Darius Garland off, hypothetically speaking, I'm not sure that happens the same way. Like, all right, Donovan's off, but Trae Young going for 30 to 40. He has that upside. All right, Trae Young's off, but now Donovan is going off. And not only is Donovan going off, Trae is not effectively scoring, but he's getting everyone else involved. I'm telling you, bro. If healthy, they would be a force, bro. And we see, I know Trae Young is inefficient, but Trae Young has shown us when he's playing at the top of his game, Eastern Conference Finals, bro. It did happen.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Are they beating Boston?
The Cavs?
If they get Trae Young.
A healthy Boston team right now? Nah, I don't think. I mean, I don't think anybody though. Like, I didn't think anybody. But this Knicks series has shocked me.
How about this? If they beat Boston, let's say Boston get hurt like they did now, and they get to the East, are they winning a championship? If Denver make it, if OKC make it, are they winning a championship?
I think they could, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. What Trae? Look, I ain't Trae.
I'm a big Trae guy. I'm a big Trae guy, bro.
My dog.
Yeah.
And I think Trae Young, like I said, I think he'll be better if you told me, okay, how about this? Let's make this all make sense. If they get Trae Young with Donovan Mitchell, let's say with the same cast team, you know what? Hold on, let me think about it. You got DeAndre Hunter. Okay.
Mobley.
Like Joe, think about it, Joe.
Bro, I'm saying, bro.
See, I don't think
like
that's enough for a championship though.
they
Unless
need a
Mobley,
bench. They need a really good bench too.
unless Mobley, he has to elevate. Mobley has to elevate his game, bro.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
to. I mean, I need Mobley. I think you know what? I would love to see that because Mobley and Randle, they're gonna be better with Trey Young, bro. Trey Young floaters look like his lobs. Like
Bro,
it's
that's
like I
bro.
ain't gonna lie, I like Trey Young.
The effective Trey Young would be massive for
He
that
will
team.
be.
Take the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands as much. Preserve him for the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter come. Everybody's involved in the game now. Everybody on the floor is a threat because of you keep on saying Randle. Everybody on the floor is a threat because Trey Young bringing the ball up. He can score and he can get everybody involved. And then you got Donovan Mitchell, who can go off at any point in time. That I'm telling you, it will be a force, bro. That will be a force, bro.
I'm thinking, man, and like I'm looking at all the options, bro, and like realistically, it's not a lot of options. Like,
It's not.
I'm looking, and Trey Young is an option because obviously the Hawks, the Hawks are like they are a standstill right now, and they're not going nowhere. And if I'm the Hawks, bro, like what y'all gonna do? Yeah, either y'all get rid of Trey Young, get a bunch of picks for him, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, AJ, but I'm not gonna lie. Would I pick them? Like, would I say they won the championship? I wouldn't, but it would increase their chances exponentially, you know. And it might be better than the Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis hit or miss. I like Anthony Davis because of his defensive presence. He already had that, you know. So okay, Trey Young makes sense.
What I will say if Trey Young if they got Trey Young and they still did, let's say they got Trey Young and they still got bounced in the second round and everyone's healthy, then I'm out on Donovan Mitchell being the best player on the championship team. I'm out on it at that point.
But it depends
I think,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
But how about this? How about you get rid of how about you get rid of Hunter and you get Donovan Mitchell, Trey Young, Allen. I'm about to say Randle again. Allen, Allen, Mobley, and like a Trey Murphy. At the 3.
That would be nice.
I like that better than Hunter. I ain't gonna lie. I like Hunter, but Trey Murphy offensively is much better. He's a bigger player. I'm trying to think like a move they can make. Like you know how Pascal Siakam went to the Pacers.
Yes.
Like one of them moves. It don't have to be a superstar with Trey Young, obviously. It don't have to be a superstar move, but somebody like that can move the needle for them. But it's just hard nowadays because everybody's stacked.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Let's wrap it up, man. Let's wrap it up, Joe. And yes, Carl. Yes, Carl. I did throw one on real quick. Trying to keep the waves intact, bro. See, I threw on the do-rag, bro. I threw one on, bro. This show laid back anyway, man. So I'm like,
I know, right?
We chilling.
Why you ain't do nothing with the jump on me? Y'all trip. He had a beanie. No, he had a Scully on. I don't know what he had. He had one jump with a thing on the top. Whatever it's called.
Right. The little
anyway. Yeah. But great show, AJ. I feel like it was a very fun show. Very fun show. Yeah. A lot of back and forth, you know. I didn't know how you were gonna respond with the Hurst take. I didn't know how you were gonna respond.
I gotta think about that. I gotta think about that. I gotta think about it, bro. I gotta think about it.
I know what I said.
When you said he'll get you to the playoffs, I said
okay.
Okay.
Maybe this sweet enough.
right. It made a little sweet. I'm like, okay, all right. Because you ain't say we'd be trash. He get you to the playoffs. And like, okay, I see where I gotta. Okay, I ain't gonna fight back too much. Let me think about this. That's where you got me though. I ain't gonna lie. If you didn't say that, it was gonna be a whole nother debate. I ain't gonna lie. But when you said that, I said, "Oh, okay, all right."
When you hear the talk, I'm like, I'm gonna say this. Because I do think Mitchell could be a win on a championship team. He just need the right pieces around him.
Right. Facts.
So great show. Shout out to the whole network. Shout out to the whole R2O family. We appreciate y'all. R2O Day. We should have a date for y'all next Tuesday. All right. So on our page, we'll announce it also on our page. AJ, looking forward to seeing you, my brother. You know,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
let you know. Looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on the network. But Commanders, man. I know a lot of talk. Cowboys excited. They play Eagles week 1. You know, they trying to get a dub. I'm with Cav. These week 1 battles, you don't know what's going on. It's just a random
Yeah,
game.
I'm not
It's
feeling that.
like it's no Skyrim port for real. I mean, come on. It's just like a free fall. I don't know, but the best team in the NBA. Oh, they are. Dang, shout out to y'all. But the Commanders, man, we chilling. We gonna sit back and watch week 1. Whoever win gonna be the leaders in the division. Gonna be happy. Okay, I can wear the shade. Do what you want to do. I know Tomo gonna wear the ski mask every time they win. I don't know. He gonna do something since they
Right,
got
right.
George Pickens. But I know the Commanders, we feeling good. I told you, AJ, before the draft, we was like, we can play right now. Wherever we get now, it's a little extra saucing. And look, next time your boy try to call for something, AJ, bring that extra bread. We got you. All right, it's gonna be expense for the division. And the Kings, the lottery is fixed. I'm sold. It's fixed. The Mavs, who never got the number 1 overall pick, wins the draft the same year they get rid of Luka? Are you serious? I never want to be one of them dudes that say something is fixed. But I honestly think the lottery is fixed. They don't even show you when they grab the ping pongs. They just show a daggone card. Can y'all at least show us the process? Like, come on, y'all. But what I do want to say, they said this on R2L. This will talk to people like the Wizards, the Hornets, Detroit in the past. Just because y'all taking on me, you get number 1 pick. Just because y'all taking. So, and I want to say this to AJ. I had an idea for the lottery. I don't know how you feel about this. Tell me what you think. Whoever don't make the play-in, do like an NIT type tournament, but you have to play a certain amount of games, 65, to play in this tournament. So you can't tank all year with your best players not sitting and try to bring them back in this tournament, and y'all just fight for the number 1 seed. That's my idea.
That's fair. 65 is a different.
Maybe
a decent.
65.
Yeah, I'm about to say because then sometimes guys really do be hurt, and it's like all right, they miss like 20 games. But I like it. I do. First off, I still think Nico lost the trade. I just want to put that out there. I know everybody. Nico won the trade. No, he did. Nico didn't think they was gonna get the number 1 pick in the draft. All right, he didn't think that was on. But he may have. If it was fixed, he did know. But 9 times out of 10, if it wasn't fixed, he didn't know they was gonna get the number 1 pick in the draft. That's number 1. Number 2, even if you knew you was gonna get the number 1 pick, even if you knew you had a chance at getting Cooper Flag, even if all that is included, you still could have got more back for Luka Doncic. And that's the thing I will be focusing on if I'm a Mavs fan. You ain't get Austin Reeves. You ain't get no real draft collateral for Luka. Yeah. No, bro. Like, you still lost the trade, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody say. And this whole Cooper Flag, I think is gonna be great. I think Luka is still Luka though. Speaking of Luka, you better be in the gym. I ain't gonna lie. I see him posting stuff on his story. I just be looking like you better be in the gym. I hope you was in the gym today. I hope that them trading you having a playoff run at the playoff series that you had, you getting bounced. Now everybody's saying the Mavs on the trade. This should motivate you to be in that gym all offseason, getting back to the Luka Doncic that we all know. I'm hoping something clicks with him, bro. I'm really hoping something clicks with him because the Luka we saw in the playoffs, I can't see that Luka no more. Bro. Now you in LA, you settled. I expect him to sign some sort of extension. Get settled, get in that gym, Luka. That's all I got to say about the Lakers. Get in that gym. We'll build around you, but get in that gym. As far as the Eagles are concerned, man, before we get off, I just want to know, man, what the Cowboys do to deserve this spotlight playing against the Super Bowl champs first week of the season? That's what I want to know. I'm thinking we finna get the Commanders. We finna get Detroit. Maybe get the Rams. They just got Tay Adams. They seen us. They was the team that pushed us the furthest in the playoffs. We finna get them. We might even get Green Bay. They doing all this tush-push conversation. You know what I'm saying? They pushed us a bit in the first round. You know, the Cowboys. Come on, bruh. I just think that's a waste of time, man. We gonna make light work of them boys, get them up out of Philly, you know what I'm saying? But I will say this. I appreciate the NFL on the same hand, you know, for making that the matchup, because there's no team in the NFL I'd rather have there live in person when we drop that banner. We dropped that banner. I want them Dallas Cowboys fans, players, and ownership to sit back and watch us drop that banner. I wish we received the rings on the same day like the NBA. I wish we got the rings too. Go up there, get your rings. Perfect team to get that banner dropped in them rings against. That's all I got, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of Unfazed with JJ and AJ. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Whole network, my channel, your channel, everybody's channel. Like usual, y'all know we remain unfazed.
Unfazed. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.